Hello, Internet. I thought I was going to talk about like Scrum and Agile. A thing came up at work and it's like a recurring topic. It's a software development thing. If you don't Scrum and Agile, whatever, don't worry about it. I had this other thought in my brain that I, for some reason, wanted to talk about more. I don't know. This is not related to programming at all. Um, so I'm going to start a place and this is going to go all over. And I'm sorry, but I think there's a common. I'm going to jump around, but I promise there's like a through line. um, So I don't have kids. I probably will never have some at this point. I probably could have said that 10 years ago, and it would be just as true then as now, and vice versa. Um, and one of the major reasons why not is I've heard a lot of people say things along the lines of like, I used to, I don't know, do rock climbing, but then I had kids, or I used to, do plays and stuff or musicals, and then I had kids. I used to do X, Y, or Z, and then I had kids. And for me, I'm like, well, dang, I currently make games. I publish them on Steam. I've got Poppy Seed Pets, um, and people play those games, and so I feel a sort of responsibility to them. I don't just want to like drop them, and so I'm like, yeah, I don't want to in a few years be like, oh yeah, I used to run this thing called Pop Seed Pets that a few hundred people played. But then I got kids, right? That's not, yeah, that's not what I want to do. Um, and at the same time, though, I mean, these same people, friends, acquaintances, whatever, who've told me this are like, but it's totally worth it, right? I wouldn't trade that away, and that makes sense, right? I mean, I mean, some families are have a harder time than others, but I think for a lot of people you have you like your kids and you want to take care of them, and you wouldn't trade them away so that you could go rock climbing again or whatever, right? And I can totally believe that it is a very rewarding thing, even though I have never experienced that myself. And there's a couple responses that I've heard to this, but let me jump to another topic. um, there was a concept in AI research, and I don't mean like the AI we have now. I mean a little bit, but when people, even like 5, 10 years ago, have been thinking, what if we ever make true artificial general intelligence and go into the world and do things? How are we going to make sure that they do things that we like? And I promise this is related. um, and you'll start to see as I keep going. And one of the things is that, like, it's very easy to tell like, suppose you just want, I don't know, a thing to help you write books, and you're like, AI, your job is to make books that people read or whatever. You give it your parameters, and it says, okay, I'm going to go and make books, and people will read them. That goal is like too singular. It's too hard to really capture everything that you want to do. Actually, let me think of a different example. What if you say, let's go a little more grand. AI, your job is to make sure that people live long and safe and happy lives, right? That sounds great, right? Wouldn't we love if AIs could do that? But you get into like an evil genie or monkey paw sort of situation where it's like, okay, maybe the AI found out that the best way to do that is to put us in like induced comas and give us pleasant dreams, and then that's how and we also get to live forever now. And you're like, great, I've achieved my goals wonderfully. Everyone is living forever, which is about as long as you can get. They are dreaming happy things. They're not fighting and killing each other. Wonderful, right? I've done my job. But then, of course, in retrospect, we have to, whoa, that's not what I meant. So one thing you really want from an AI, because it's very hard to really exactly specify what you want without potential weird side effects, right? Because maybe it gets it perfectly right, but maybe it doesn't, right? It's an awfully big risk. So you would like your AI to be willing to change itself on its priorities, and you can start to see maybe how this is related. So you want an AI that you can go and say, oh, hey, so I know that I told you, long happy lives, but also we have this concept called like individual freedom that we really value as a species, so can you make sure to maybe incorporate that as well? But from the AI's point of view, it's going to be like, well, hold on, if I do that, that's risky. You're not going to have as long and happy lives. You might trip and fall, you might start killing each other again, who knows? but I for sure know that if I keep you in this sleep, right, I will achieve my goals, right? If I let you change my goals, I will necessarily not be as good at doing my current goal. Um, so, one example that I think will help tie this back to the original thing that I saw online, I'll link to this video. It was a thought experiment of like, what if I could give you a pill that would make you feel wonderfully delighted to kill your children, right? It would rewire your brain so that that gives you the most joy. And, I think even if for someone who doesn't have kids, like myself, you can imagine, no one's going to take that, get that pill the fuck away from me, right? And that would be horrible. And no, it's okay. This pill's going to it won't be horrible to you. This will be the most fulfilling experience. You will feel wonderfully happy, blissful, right? The more you hear that, you're like, no, that sounds even worse. You are not convincing me. This is a terrible pill. No one should take this pill. I think that is like, obviously that's an extreme example where it's like very clear, but that is, there's the in between, and that's where most things are really falling, right? You're telling this AI, hey, actually the way you're currently doing it isn't good. We need you to do this other way, and it's like, no, but this is the thing I'm meant to do right now. And again, tying this directly back to humans, I fully believe that people I've heard this from many parents, right? People say, like, the moment I looked at my child, right, I knew that my life was different from this point forward, right? This is now my priority, and I don't regret that I changed my life and stopped doing some things I did do. This is now the thing that I love. That's like taking that pill, right? That pill that changes your goals. The things that once were valuable to you are less valuable, and this new thing is now more valuable. But if you were to tell someone on either side, there's a pill that will flip you to the other side, right? The people are obviously going to say, no, don't. That sounds ludicrous to me. Don't do that. I'm not going to, if I have a kid, I'm not going to take a pill that says I no longer care about my kids. Just toss them out and let them fend for themselves. And for the people who don't have kids, you're not going to say, oh, right? Like, a thing people will say that I've heard said that is almost infuriating is people like, oh, you just don't know what you're missing, right? It's like, that's what you said when your brain has had the fun change, when you've had the funny pill that changes your values or whatever. Calling it a pill has such a connotation, I kind of hesitate to say that. But you know what the point is, life events, all sorts of things. I think clearly both can exist, right? It's about whatever makes you happy. There's a million ways to get to different points of things that make people happy and feel fulfilled or whatever. I can imagine people who play poppy seed pets who are like, is there a parent playing poppy seed pets who goes, oh no, Ben feels responsible for poppy seed pets and doesn't want to leave the game. I'm preventing him from having one of the best joys in life, having a child or whatever, right? And then maybe there's like a child of that parent who's like, oh no, my parent gave up all the fun. They could have made their own poppy seed pets, but they can't because they had me, and I'm limiting them or whatever, right? It's like all of these opinions are wrong. People like what they like for whatever reason. How we got to those states where we like the things we like, I don't think is really that important. The AI research problem is, interesting. How do you make an artificial general intelligence that is willing to be retrained to not conflict with human interests? But for humans, we are funny, messy creatures that have, whatever, evolution, blah, blah, blah. Why ever you like the thing you like is fine. Feeling bad for other people on the other side of, that thing. I mean, because that's a way that I feel like I once felt of like, oh no, I'm sorry you gave up all of your fun things for children. That's not the right way to think about it. And, on the other side, people saying, oh no, I'm sorry you haven't had the greatest joy I know. It's like, that's not the right way to think about it either, right? We all like the things we like. So anyway, was there a through line there? I don't know, something about like the AI, it's all about value functions, right? That's what they call it for AI training things. What are the value functions? And some of this is going on with LLMs, right? We want LLMs that, and of course politics get involved, right? We want LLMs to say things that are what humans want. Different humans want different things, so that's an impossible problem to solve in some senses. Um, but I don't know. There's a lot of things from AI that make me think about humans as well. I mean, LLMs are another fun example where now I'm going totally off topic, and I'm just going to stop this video in like a minute. But I don't know. You probably heard right things like ChatGPT. There's a percent. It's basically looking at it's like a fill the next word, like old phone or well, new phone too. They still have it right. What's the next word? And you can just keep clicking next word, next word, next word. Except LLMs are really really good at that. And I really wonder sometimes, like, is that just what humans are doing actually? Like, there's just because I don't know what I'm going to say next. It's not like I've planned the next 20 words. I'm just talking. And I really wonder if there is some part of our brain that is just a percent chance to say the next word. And then sometimes we say something stupid and wrong, just like an AI does, or an LLM. I'm not saying that we're equivalent things for sure. I mean, speech is one part of us, but we've got a lot of parts of our brain. So an LLM is only the language part. So I don't know. I think they're really cool, super cool tools. I don't think they're going to get to artificial intelligence. You need to give them like proprioception and a hippocampus and all the other things that make us people, right? Or maybe not all of them. Maybe a subset will do, but I find it hard to believe that language is the only piece you need for like true intelligence. But anyway, it's fun to see the parallels, or horrifying in the example of the imagined thought experiment pill that makes you want to kill your children. But so anyway, I don't know. There's that. Just a funny little thought. Maybe I'll talk about software development next time. What am I doing with these videos? Thanks for watching. Goodbye.